above for $2.5 million.
Did it say how many girls he read?
No, don't count the girls. Well, it says 5 of them came forward.
And usually, I guess, kind of with, like, you were talking about the Sandusky case yesterday, you know, maybe more people will come forward as they see that this person's finally caught. Good story. I wrote under problems for that, maybe sexual assault. I'll put / abuse. If you guys want to have this in your notes, it'll be useful for thinking through that reflection you'll do today. Oh yeah? Call the next person. Thank you.
My article, it was about robbery, and it said, the name of the article was called Robbery in Albany, but in the article I read it said North Philadelphia on Rising Sun and Fisher Avenue.
Okay.
These 2 men robbed a convenience store. And it was just like, if you like know what happened or saw the 2 men coming out of the store, then they wanted you to call 911 and tell them anything you know.
I'm going to ask you a question. How is that maybe a problem for Philadelphia society? How is that a problem?
Because it's like, in Philadelphia, people will see stuff, but they won't come forward to what they saw.
Oh, so it's not just robbery, it's also what do they call that? When you don't say what you see? Let's call it this. The idea of snitches get stitches. But I mean, when I first moved to Philadelphia, I was really surprised by this. Back in 2005, I mean, I think there was a little girl that was shot on a block back in 2005, 2006, and it was on the news every day. And the big issue was like trying to get people to come forward to say what they saw. And I'm surprised nobody saw anything, only because this happened in the summertime. It was on one of those small blocks in South Philadelphia where there were people out in the street, and when they heard the bullets, they just went inside. But you know, I find it hard to believe that nobody saw anything, but I think a lot of people are nervous about their own safety when it comes to those issues, don't you think?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that might be a problem for the Philadelphia community. We can't protect each other if we don't feel comfortable enough to speak up. Others. So they can call another person.
Who was for the article?
Everybody, calling anybody.
Faith.
Mine was on the well, it was, the article was called like it was like about the Philadelphia crime rate, but it was also talking about like how local organizations are they're getting like shut down because the mayor doesn't want to support them.
Local organizations like what?
Like community centers for young kids to be like off the streets and stuff.
So I'm going to put closing of community centers and also crime rate for this. But you know what, Faith, I think that within your story, the way that you said it already, offers a solution. The crime rate's going up because what?
Because the community centers are being
So maybe what might be a solution to the crime rate within that
to
article?
open them back.
I'm going to add that to solution.
Is that really true?
Is what really true, Dahlia?
Like, when they close the community center, crime rates go up because most people don't even use the community center.
What do you guys think?
They can't make
Well, call your response. What do you guys think?
I think it depends on help because they can't provide a sports center.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the argument. Like, not everybody doesn't go to the community center, but if the community center is active, it gives people something to do. And the thing is, occupies them. It occupies them. And I mean, if you think about this, I know you guys might not know this, but I remember learning this summer, I forget where I learned it from, but a lot of crime happens because people are bored. Think about this.
Yeah.
Why do you say yeah? You know what I'm going to say?
No, but I did a lot of like doing stuff when I was young too, just because I was bored and I used to live in a bad neighborhood,
Mhm.
so I was influenced to do bad things.
Yeah, because, I mean, if there's nothing else to do, why not get involved in this? And I think about the idea of flash mobs. The flash mob thing. Why do people get involved in flash mobs?
It's fun and we don't.
She's a flash mob.
Well, oh, you're a flash mob. Aaliyah, what do you mean it's fun? Why do you say that?
Flash mob, it's not really like people just being up each other. It's like really like people just hanging out with each other. Just happening to be like a lot of us. We don't do it. Well, some people do. Some people say, are you with this person? But other people just do it because it's fun. They want to get friends and stuff. And meet boys.
Ooh, you meet boys at flash mobs?
Yeah.
I think
Flash
you-
mob.
I don't know if you want. I don't know if you can bring a flash mob or home with mom. But understand what the purpose of adding it to the problems list is. Maybe, you know, that's a symptom of people not having enough to do. Faith, let's come back to you. Call the next person. I think we have time for one more article.
Chanel.
Mine was called Man Held in Nicetown Bar Slang to Face Trial. What it was about was like this man, his name was James. He was smoking inside the bar and they had told him to stop. And he blew smoke into the bouncer's face. And when they kicked him out, he came back with a gun and started shooting.
Ooh. So I'm gonna add to this. And I mean, this is a problem in Philly, right? Gun violence. I mean, it's not just a Philadelphia problem. Understand that's a national problem. So I'm going to ask you guys to think, as I pull something up, just think, or maybe discuss with each other for a minute, what are some solutions to these problems that you see? What might be some solutions to the problems that you see? I'm going to pull something up that might help us have that conversation more deeply. 1 minute.
I don't know why people do stuff, because they be going through stuff, like people ain't got no job, they lost their daughter, or their son got killed or something. There's a lot of tension.
You have double class.
We had a
Alright,
discussion.
so we doing? Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, got the fireworks. Alright, go ahead.
30 seconds? You guys need the 30 seconds?
No.
Can I have one volunteer go up to the board to write down solutions? Can a volunteer go up and write down solutions for me?
I'll do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So do you think rewards
We can talk it out.
Let somebody say
Nobody will talk it.
it's probably like this.
Oh,
Like
maybe,
rewards.
maybe. So let's, Jada, we're gonna begin. So what are some solutions to some of these problems? Hands up if you thought of a solution. Focus. Warning one, conversation has begun. Geneva is the table, has the floor.
Well, my article was about Mayor Nutter. He was talking about how it was a store owner and this person came and shot like 3 people. The store owner, and then Mayor Nutter put out a reward for $25,000 for whoever find the person and got the information about the killing.
So maybe a solution is,
Reward.
so maybe rewards.
They probably need to get money.
It's not like I have like just that thing to go against someone. Because, like when Geneva said like how, about rewards, not all the time, because when Officer Chuck Cassidy was shot, the guy that killed him, when they said they would run out of reward or whatever, when the person came forward, he never got that reward.
Oh, we never got the reward. Interesting. So I mean, maybe rewards aren't enough. Maybe the promise of rewards aren't enough. But I mean, rewards might still be a solution. We shouldn't get rid of it. Sierra?
My article was about a man who got shot and killed at a store in Camden,
Mm-hmm.
and he was shot with military weapons. So, like a solution, like, because Camden is known for having their police, a lot of policemen fired, their crime rate went up, so maybe they need to start hiring more policemen again.
Nice. I like that. That might be a solution. So hiring more police. And in Camden, get this. I don't know if you guys know, but yesterday or the day before, the state police were sent into Camden because the Camden police force of the city was actually overwhelmed. Can I add something to the list? Off of what Sierra said, might be gun control. Because you're not supposed to be able to buy those type of firearms, but people are. So maybe gun control, licensing, real licensing, getting guns off the streets. look up on this in the interest of time. I want to show you this. Remember, this is that Temple University site that goes through and digests all the news from communities around the city. Check it out, please, even after this class. Just look at it periodically to see what's happening in your community. But I want to just scroll through some of the featured stories. I'm going to scroll through. I'm going to ask you to look at the headlines. See if you see any solutions in the headlines. When you see a solution, raise your hand.
Wait.
Oh, there you go. Police reaching out to victims
Why is that a solution, or why is that something that might be social uplift betterment?
because the police kind of can get them some type of security and like probably get them to speak if they have somebody that they feel like the police is by their side.
Beautifully said. Jada, I think that you should add that on. So I mean, maybe police reaching out to victims?
Oh,
In a
yeah,
different way.
so because they starting to speak out, so they're gonna reach people that did it, like,
Yeah, so maybe people would want to speak out more. Keep on looking, as Jada already said, keep on looking.
Homeless children, the homeless children.
But I'm hearing people say things, I'm not seeing hands. Is this one to stop on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Ashley, why?
Like, just, more people just, bring out, like, I'm not saying, like shelters, more shelters for homeless people.
So I'd add two things. Jada, to the bottom, add shelters. And on the top, add homelessness. That didn't come up as an issue, but we know homelessness is an issue, right?
Yeah.
Don't you see homeless in your community? I see homeless people in Germantown, in my community.
Love Park, and people
Love
just
Park
laying there.
everywhere. But I mean, maybe what's the solution to that? More shelters, more support. So, I think this is a great conversation. And I want you to really compile it and go back to that question. What's our question for this conversation? Jaleesa, what's our question for this conversation? Excellent. So what would social uplift in Philadelphia include today?
I get to share my things then. Alright, so it was this girl, right? She was in Connecticut and she was supposed to be homesick. But you know how like their parents are, so her dad had brought her a rifle, but she lived next to a schoolhouse and she ain't had nothing to do, she just was shooting kids. Like
Oh,
this,
my
God.
Wait,
She
I
shot
thought
too
she
many
was
times and
out.
she hit
Oh my
she
goodness, why didn't you share that story?
I was trying to share,
Is
but
that-
it
where did
was
that
something
happen?
interesting.
Did
In
that-
Connecticut.
Oh, so that's not our community.
Oh, but
But
still,
it is, but it's still an interesting story.
So she just decided to shoot kids?
Listen, who said this, you know, we need to open more community centers because people have things to do. Like, seriously, boredom is dangerous. It really is. It's not because she knows it. Listen, in the interest of time, we have about one more minute, and I want you to be focused for what the assignment is on this. Jada, thank you very much. Take this home, problems and solutions. And I want you guys to write no more than 300 words, no less than 200 words, which is 2 paragraphs at the most. Real simple, right? No more than 2 paragraphs, you just busted out a whole essay. This paragraph should be maybe 20 minutes at the most tonight. I want to hear what you think about what a plan for social uplift will look like in Philadelphia. And don't just say what the solution should be. I want you to talk about the problems also. Capiche? Awesome. Faith, you have one more thing you wanted to say to close out.
I think it should be like more like not like parenting classes because you don't want to like offend anybody's parenting, but like a lot of parents they don't know what they be doing, like, because like they don't have like the right idea of how to like raise their children because like they just let their kids do anything.
So
Like
maybe
that's the
parenting is
reason
a
why.
piece of it. I did miss one thing that I want to add in. Remember why you're doing this assignment. As you're doing this assignment, guess who you're taking on the character of? Look in the red. You are taking on the character of a social uplift organization. This is what they did. They looked at problems in society and they thought of solutions. I want you to do the same tonight.